Guys, this is Kim from Abundant Life Tarot. I'm excited because we are doing another video response to, this time we're doing, it's the 10 questions for a deck junkie, and I am a deck junkie. My collection is not an abundance of decks. I mean, well, I have like about 40-ish decks. It's not like hundreds of decks, but I am a deck junkie nonetheless, because I don't necessarily need to have like hundreds of decks to sit for hours on the internet looking and lusting over other people's decks. So there you go. So we are just going to go ahead and get started. I kind of have all my little decks right here on this side of me, and then I have to get all settled, and then I have my questions. So we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? We ready? Okay. So first up, what is your one true soulmate deck? And of course, this is a difficult one. And this one is actually a funny one. And it's not really, many of the images are not really appropriate for children. So I'm going to try to only show the ones that I don't feel that are too explicit. But this would be the Cosmic Tribe Tarot. And here are the backs. And I'll tell you why this one's my soul deck. It's for a number of reasons. But here, well, he's kind of covering his private parts here. Here's the Knight of Wands. Okay. And then we have the Four of Wands, which is a little pippish. I'm not really a big fan of pip decks, I'll be honest with you. Just not. But for some reason, this deck works for me. Three of Disc. Five of Cups. And this is Balance. Let's see if I can find something that's, here's the Ace of Wands. So, the reason why this is a soul deck is because I saw an image of this deck on, I don't know, one of the Facebook groups. And someone posted an image of one of the cards and was like, does anyone know what deck this belongs to? Because this card was found in a book. I wish I could find the card, but we'll just say this one. This isn't the card at all. If I saw this card, I don't know if I'd necessarily be called to the deck. But the one image that was on the Facebook group posting, I just had to have that deck. Like, I dropped everything I was doing and had to seek out where I could get this deck. Ordered the deck. It came quickly, thankfully, and I just fell in love with it. I instantly could read with it. I consulted the guidebook. Guidebook is excellent. This deck was made in the 90s. So for it to still be it's like a timeless deck. For it to still be timely in today's world is just incredible. The deck creators are from my neck of the woods. San Francisco, at least they reside there. And I don't know, I always feel like this kindred spirit to deck creators who are from the Bay Area or from this part of the world, because I'm like, oh, we are kind of all like on the same vibrational energy, so to speak. And I like to support people, even if this is a mass-produced deck at this point, I still like to support people who are from my neck of the woods. And so it's a soul deck for me. I really resonate with it. I'm glad I got it. It was a fluke. I don't always go on Facebook. It was a fluke that day that I saw it anyway, and I just felt like we were called to be together. So that's a very long answer to that question, but hey, there you go. Next up, what are your top favorite decks? 5 favorite decks, excuse me. Okay, so I did bring those down here. Let's get them up here. Okay. There's 4. And I mentioned the Cosmic I didn't mention the Cosmic Tribe Tarot, but that has to already be for another question, the question before, so I'm not going to include it in my top 5, but it would definitely be in my top 5, but for the fact that it was already occupying the question before. Anyways, so first up would be the Triple Goddess Tarot, and I won't go too much into it because I did a Tarot Obsessed video response video, and that one discusses and goes into great detail about why I really like the Triple Goddess. It is a great deck, and it is my workhorse, and more on that later because there's questions about what do you use your specific decks for, but it's primarily for readings for others. Next up would be the Cosmic Tarot, not to be confused with the Cosmic Tribe Tarot. This is the Cosmic Tarot, and it will probably be in many of my favorites videos because I like it that much. Here are the backs. I love the cardstock. 4 of Cups. And I love the energy of this deck. 9 of Wands. 8 of Cups. Like the 8 of Cups. The High Priestess, which is why I got the card to begin with. It has a little white book, but I have the other 2 guidebooks that are actually written because I love this deck so much, and I love the guidebooks so much. I'm so grateful I have both, and I am also grateful that I have a little white book too for on-the-go readings. So there you have that. That's number 2. Trying to keep some order here. Okay. Then number 3 is the Stretch Tarot, and this list is in no particular order. You guys know how I feel about the Stretch Tarot. This was also featured in my Tarot Obsessed video response video, so I won't open the box or go into too much detail because I've also done a review on this deck. So yeah, you've got plenty from me on this particular deck. I won't bore you with too many more details. That's number 3. Then we have number 4, Tarot of the Ages. Love this deck. It's also another workhorse. I use this deck primarily for readings for others, and more on how I use this deck for others in a moment. Okay, good, those are in there. It's a smaller deck, and it's US games. It's smaller. That's the back. It's not reversible, but you can still do reversibles if you so choose to. I think there's even a reverse meaning in the little white book. There's a Knight of Batons. Let's see. Here's the Hermit. And it's got Nordic traditions, it's got African, Indian, and then Aztec, I believe. And I also can read this deck just intuitively. I get a lot of intuitive hits. Because it's little, it's kind of difficult to do video readings with it, but I still work with it. It's a great deck. That's the Chariot. Okay, so that's my 4th one. And then my last one, my last favorite is the Darkness of Light. And I have to just say I really like this video. At some point I am going to do a special video for it. I just haven't done it yet. I love this deck because it's just achingly beautiful. I also was able to just use this right out of the box. I mean, just even without even going through all the images, dive right in, and it's just it's like works of art. Here's the backs. So you can see it's wolves. Sorry for the reflection. I'm in a pretty bright room. Ace of Cups. 8 of Wands. So yeah, that's my fifth favorite top 5 deck. All right, so which deck do you go for when you have to do career readings? And then she says love and relationship readings, general readings. Do you assign specific purposes for certain decks readings? And I also forgot to mention that this was Fables Jen's video response. So her link will be in the description box or down below. I just wanted to do that little plug real fast. Okay, so for career readings, and we just mentioned this one. This is the Tarot of the Ages. This deck is fabulous for me and for career readings. I don't know why, it just works really well. When I use this deck and the career reading, clients get what I'm saying. They're able to even see what I'm talking about easily, if you know. So that's what I use for my career readings. For my love and relationship, I primarily use, where are you? Oh, my triple goddess, sorry. My triple goddess is for my relationship, primarily for my relationship readings, although honestly, for my love and relationship, I could even use the Tarot of the Ages tarot, but this one works the best for love and relationships for me. Let's see, general readings, and do you assign specific purposes for certain decks? General readings, it really, the sky's the limit. I have a feeling my Darkness of Light will make a great general reading deck, as it will also make a great love reading. I have not played around with it enough for readings for others yet. I've been primarily just doing readings for myself or on the spot readings for loved ones with Darkness of Light. I like to only use my decks for others, the ones I've used a lot. If people are open to a lot of nudity, I prefer to use my Cosmic Tribe Tarot because I'm really connected with that deck. But the Cosmic Tarot is one that's a great general purpose one. And I do really like to have my deck, you know, it's like tools, you know, like if doctors had their tools that they use when they're treating patients, tarot readers have the tools of the Oracle and the tools of tarot. And healers, you know, they have their tools. And that's how I look at my tarot decks. I am called for each reading to go on my shelf and pull what I feel will resonate highly in that reading. And so each reading, when I'm preparing for it, I spend time thinking about which deck is going to be most appropriate for answering those questions in that reading. Let's see. Do you have a pet oracle that interrupts or intervene your tarot readings? Not yet. We have a puppy on the way that will be here in 2 weeks, a Jack Russell Terrier pup, and we are so excited. It is a surprise. The kids don't know. It's an early Christmas surprise, and we are so thrilled about this. So yes, we will definitely be having probably some puppy interruptions, and I'm glad the question came up so I could kind of mention that to my peeps who are watching this video now, and I have to apologize in advance. But we will be having puppy training, so the puppy hopefully will not be interrupting too much. And then the other interruptions that I have a lot, which today I'm not, which is nice, is my husband. He pops in, and then I usually have to get off because he's usually having to tell me, he was coming back early from the bike shop, so he has to tell me how much the bicycle is going to cost to be repaired. And then there's my kids, my teenagers, or my adult child who still lives at home. He's 19. Then I have a 15-year-old, and then I have a 6-year-old. And the house is always a buzz with people coming in and out. And so, yeah, I don't, you know, I have a feeling my little pet is going to be kind of around me. He kind of looks like the fool dog from the Rider-Waite-Smith, like that when he's full grown. So I'm kind of excited about having a pet oracle, if you will. But if you're also asking about other major distractions in my home, yes, my family. All right, let's see. What's on your deck wish list? Your top 5. Now, I think I did finally come up with 5. Okay, barely, because I don't usually really have extensive wish lists, because usually if there was a deck I really want, I get. And also, I do have a couple of independent decks, and I also have a few mass-produced decks. But I go with what I'm called to, and if it happens to be an inexpensive mass-produced deck, great. That's better for me. I can easily get a copy if I needed to. I can easily get it when I need it. Yay. But if it happens to be a hard-to-get deck, that's okay too. It's just what it is what it is. The first deck that I've been eyeing and thinking about getting and may get next year, I haven't decided yet, is the Alchemical Tarot. And I've gone to the website a couple of times. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I might put it on my wish list, but I've already got this drum that I'm going to have handmade, and it's going to be pretty pricey, and my husband's supposed to get that for me for Christmas. So I don't know if I will be getting the Alchemical Tarot from him this year, because the drum is actually more priority. The other deck that's actually really easy for me to get, I just am on the fence on, but it is on my wish list nevertheless. It's actually on a wish list for me. It's the Fountain Tarot, and I go back and forth on the Fountain Tarot because I like, if you've been watching my videos enough, you'll know that I'm very textured, very layered. I mean, look at my armchair, y'all. I got sarongs on it because that's how I roll. I'm very boho in my off time. I work for an insurance company during the week, and in my off time and at home, I like to have layers upon layers, and I like lots of rich colors, and I like almost the cards could look textural and ornate. Not always. But I worry that the fountain is almost too sparse for me. And it does have color. It does follow the Rider-Waite-Smith, which I appreciate. And I think I'm going to like it. But my reading cloths are very, I don't know, they're very rich in color. In my style, my stones, everything about me is very pop and very in your face. And the fountain is very subtle. So I'm going to have to see if that's something I'm going to resonate with more, and maybe in the future. I don't know yet, but it is on my wish list. The Bohemian Gothic, which I think is probably on a lot of people's wish list. The price of it does make it a little prohibitive for me. Like, I don't know if I will be getting it in soon. But maybe I will. I don't know. I'm not blocking it. If the universe somehow wants to bless me with that, yay! Yay! Not gonna block it. But it is a pricey gem. But it's pretty. It's gorgeous. And I love it. I love that dark, where everything's kind of illuminated by the moonlight. I love that. So that one actually, if someone gifted me that tomorrow, I would like kiss them, hug them, be so thrilled. Whereas the other decks, the Alchemical, I'd be happy. The Fountain, I think I would be happy. But no, the Bohemian Gothic, I would like wrap my legs around the person and my arms around their neck and just, yeah. And then let's see. Oh, the original Star Child Tarot. The others are great, but I wish I would have gotten the original Star Child Tarot. You snooze, you lose. What are you gonna do? And then finally, I don't have a specific deck in mind, but maybe you all have some recommendations for me on a tastefully done erotic tarot deck. And a couple of my friends have given me some recommendations, and they are on my wish list. But I'll know it when I see it. I'll know that erotic deck when I see it. And I don't really get a lot of erotic questions from people asking me for readings, nor do I really need it for my own sex life. But I don't know, it's just nice. It'd be nice to have that on hand, and you know, in my toolkit, so to speak. You just never know, and you may need to pull out an erotic tarot deck. So that's my 5 wish list deck situations. Let's see. What is your favorite deck with renamed systems or titles, and why? And I mentioned this in my Tarot Obsessed video response, and that would be the Dreams of Gaia. And I didn't open this box for that video, and I've talked about this deck a lot, and I know it's hit or miss for a lot of people. Not everyone really resonates with it, and I get it, because, you know, it does follow its own system, but it does have majors and minors, and I'm able to get some intuitive hits from her images, from Raven Phelan's images. I love her guidebooks. This is where I'm okay with making the exception of saying, you know what, first of all, I like reading books and kind of doing this whole experience with the tarot when I'm reading it. But I especially treat this like an oracle, where I'm okay with looking at the book if I so choose. But the images contain a lot for me. Look at the abundance card. I don't know. It just does for me. I know it doesn't for everyone else, but it does for me. Let's see. Here's the Self card. And it does follow its own system, but it does follow in the Rider-Waite-Smith in terms of having, you know, major and minor, kings, queens, you know, from aces to kings, and everything in between. And it follows the elements. This is like a water element. It says the Counselor. And you can read the guidebook, but you don't try to memorize it. Just relax about the whole thing with Dreams of Gaia. I use this deck primarily for myself, but occasionally I do pull it out for readings for others. But it's for that self-exploration, wanting to know a little bit more about self type of readings that I pull this out for. Knowledge. And so I pulled this deck out for that. And for example, I took this deck with me on my women's retreat. So I'm not going to keep going, but yeah, it's a deck that is probably more like an oracle, but I still treat it like a tarot because it is designed to be its own tarot system. But just, I think a lot of people get hung up about its own system and that they don't know the artwork very well and they can't memorize it timely. Throw that all out with that. Just relax and go with the flow with it, is my advice if you're going to keep the deck. Let's see. What is your least favorite deck and why? And I did speak about this in my Tarot Obsessed video response video, and that my least favorite, I feel like I skipped a question. Oh, I did skip a question. I skipped number 6, so let me back up. Sorry, guys. What is one gorgeous deck that you have but cannot connect with? That would be the Thelema Tarot. And it is gorgeous. And when I first got it, I did resonate with the images. But over time, it almost felt too pretty to use for me. Here's 3 of Swords. And I really like this 3 of Swords. It's one of my favorite 3 of Swords of all time. Because I like how in the background you can see like the sun. You know how like when it rains and then you can see the sun peeking off in the horizon. You can kind of see a break in the clouds, and it just like kind of gives you that peace, you know, after you've been crying or what have you. That I love that 3 of Swords. Here's 5 of Cups, but it almost feels too pretty, and it wasn't that terribly expensive of a deck. King of Pentacles, and I'm not gonna give it up because I, for a while, was using it in love readings, and from time to time when I'm doing massive love reading spreads, I may have a deck representing one partner or another, you know, for one choice, and, you know, use another deck for another partner for those 3-way kind of situations. Ace of Wands, but again, like I said, I'm not going to give it up. Knight of Pentacles, I'm going to keep it. But yeah, it's a gorgeous deck that I'm having trouble connecting with on a consistent basis. So now we can move on. What was your favorite deck with renamed systems and titles? I talked about that. What is your least favorite deck and why? And that would be, and I talked about this, I'm not going to open it, but it's the Morgan Greer, gorgeous deck. Classic. We like classics, but I'm having trouble connecting with it also on a consistent basis, but I'm not ready to give it up because it's a good learning deck. It really is a good learning deck when you're, you know, comparing some of these more modern decks to, you know, that are Rider-Waite-Smith to the traditional. I did a reading with it maybe about a week ago, and for the first time in like, I don't know, a year, we just vibed, and maybe I've just evolved in my, you know, tarot journey, and to the point of being able to appreciate its finer points, and maybe it's finally wanting to dance with me. I don't know. We'll see. Again, I don't have, I should also say least favorite. I don't have decks in my collection or have room for decks in my collection that I'm not resonating with or that is just pretty. Like, I will try to work with a Thelema and incorporate it into a few love readings, but sometimes I can tell a person is hurting when they're asking me for a reading, and I want a for sure reading that's gonna hit, like hit the reading out of the park, and that would be my triple goddess. So I can count on that. But I don't like having decks in my collection that I'm not resonating with, or that it, you know, I just get it for collector's sake. No, it needs to be worked and used. Otherwise, it needs to go. That's just how I roll, because I don't have a lot of space for it. I just need to say that aside. Let's see. What is your favorite? It lists your Oracle deck, but I'm assuming because this is a tarot deck junkie video, we're talking about tarot. What is your favorite tarot deck and why? I am going to say, you know what? And also, what's your deck wish list? Do you have a pet? Oh. Sorry guys, I was just trying to make sure I didn't miss a question. I guess I haven't. Okay, so my favorite would have to be, I'm still gonna have to go with, this is a tough choice. Right now, my absolute favorite is probably the Cosmic Tarot. I just love looking at the images, and I love like the guidebook meanings. They give big world tarot meanings, like when people are asking some of those bigger universal questions. And it's kind of like in your face with the answers, and I like that. But it's still approachable, and I like that too. So it would have to be my Cosmic Tarot for now. It could, my top favorite will change probably from week to week. But hey, I don't know. It's gonna change, I know. And if you were to create your own deck or dream deck, what would it look like? I don't know. I would probably have a deck that is certainly diverse. Trying to think, maybe I like themes that incorporate some modern day themes that we've got going on. Or maybe, I know there's zombie decks already, but I'm also a big fan of the Walking Dead. Oh, maybe a dark deck for an American Horror Story themed deck. Maybe taking all the seasons and combining them into a 78 card deck. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. It'd be like a dark deck though, because the show is dark, but it's witty too. It has its dark, funny moments. And the seasons, oh my God, I don't know. They could have their pick on which season to go if they just want to do one specific season, or if they want to have a deck to encompass all the seasons. I don't know. You have to, if you are in another country and you don't know what show I'm talking about, American Horror Story, I don't know how you could check it out, but I strongly encourage you to figure it out because it's a great show. It's one of my favorite shows on television, and I've been watching it since season 1. So I think that's it for all the questions for this particular video response. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I try not to keep these videos super long and trying to not have them super short, so I'm playing with the different timings on the video. So I just want to thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. Let me know what decks you are being a junkie over, that you're obsessing about. I want to see also your video response videos because I love these things. I am such a fan. I'm a fan of watching them and have been for months and years. And now I get to participate. Too much fun, guys. So anyways, check you out later. Many blessings to you. See you around. Take care. Bye.